Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025, and we are back for another episode of Bricks and Beyond, a creator showcase series. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, Bricks and Beyond is a showcase series that highlights members of the LEGO community, essentially giving you a look at the person behind the account. Tonight's guest joins us from Ski City, USA, also known as Salt Lake City. He is a mental health therapist by day and an avid Lego fan ambassador by night, probably by day as well. You'll see him on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube as TJ Bricky, but I'm here to introduce you to him as simply TJ. Let me get him in here. Hopefully. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are
Good.
you?
Good. Did I get that ready? Ski City, USA.
Apparently, I snowboard a little bit, but yeah, I mean, we are known for our snow and our mountains. We're getting the Olympics in 2034
Okay.
again, so yeah.
Isn't that funny how we can plan so much into the future and it's literally 9 years away, but yet we already know where the Olympics are going to be.
Yep.
So you got to have logistics down, though, you know.
Oh
So
yeah. When we hosted in 2002, it like nearly fell apart. So I'm honestly a
yeah.
little surprised that they brought it back here. But I guess like, well, they did it once, they can do it again.
Well, I guess you guys must have done something to give them the, I guess, comfort level in bringing it back. So.
It turned out to be, I don't know what metric they measure this by, but like one of the most successful or most profitable or something like
Okay.
that Olympics after like 2 years before it was hosted. They were like, we might not be able to do this, and
Interesting.
then they turned it around.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I don't envy. I admire the people that can handle. I know it's teams, but logistics like that to put these
Oh,
massive events. Like I can't even imagine. I was just talking to my buddy the other day. He's on a touring crew, so he goes around with different artists and whatnot. And like he's telling me all this stuff on how these shows come together and the money that gets tossed out there, and it's like you don't really realize, like as an end user,
oh no,
how much
couldn't be me.
cost and time goes in stuff. And yeah, like even you, like with all your platforms, like people see the end product and they don't realize what all goes into that. So
I won't lie. I literally spent probably 5 hours today sorting Lego and cleaning the Lego room
yeah,
and getting things reorganized because like it just starts piling up so quick
yep,
and yeah.
yeah. I trust me. Yeah, we're in the same ship. So so I was going to ask you, how was your day today? So that's what you were doing, spending time in the Lego room.
Yeah, I did. I had some work stuff, but then yeah, I had a bit of a break, and it was so much sorting. I had some sets like you just run out of display room, so I'm taking apart sets,
Yep.
putting them into my loose pieces, sorting them, doing
Okay.
everything. I just as a Lego ambassador, sometimes there's certain periods where the review sets that we get is just like a lot all at once because
Oh yeah, sure.
like March is going to be a really big release month, so they like a lot of March stuff. And so like I just had like boxes strewn everywhere and I hadn't cleaned up, and it's just yeah, I keep the clean stuff on camera and the rest of it's like a little bit bad.
Oh, those are the pictures I love seeing is like what you see behind the camera, like when you're looking at us, like
Yep.
nice and clean. You spin that camera around, boy, and that's like chaos behind
I
there.
won't lie, this interview today was one of the reasons that I did that cleaning because I had a feeling people might ask to see the room and to see the space, and so now I'm totally like, yeah, I'll show you. It
Well,
looks
only,
great.
only the half that we're looking at. This.
Uh-huh.
Well, hey, I'm glad I could give you two things today. I can get people the opportunity to know you, and I also gave you the opportunity to clean your space up. So,
Yeah, it's like when we're throwing a party and like all of a sudden the kitchen in the living
yeah,
room is like cleaner than it's ever
yeah,
been.
yeah. But there's always that one closet. It's just ready to explode because that's where everything
Oh
gets
yeah,
tossed.
100%.
So, Utah, I think I have another friend that I've come across out that way, but what's the weather? I never can get the weather in Utah. Is
Neither
it cold right
can
now?
Utahns.
I'm not
No,
okay.
it
Utahns,
is.
that's a new one. I've never heard that term before.
Yep, tons is what we call it. I grew up in Vegas, so I
Okay,
still like kind of claim Nevada, but
sure, close
um,
enough. Yeah,
yeah, real close. It is the most rapidly changing weather of anywhere I've ever been.
interesting. Okay,
It snowed today, but the weather app said zero
yeah,
precipitation, but it snowed and it stuck and it's back and forth all the time. We get beautiful spring, summers, and falls. The winters get a little bad.
okay.
Um, but we actually get four seasons here, which I didn't grow up with. In Vegas,
Oh,
you have
nice. Yeah,
110 and then winter.
109. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great though. It's fun and we literally like last week we had a day where it was 66 degrees and I
Okay.
was like, it literally was warm enough to go swimming right now.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later it was 30.
That's
And I'm like,
crazy.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
I'm in Pennsylvania and we didn't have that drastic of a swing. I think we did make it up to the 50s a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I was just talking to somebody over the weekend in Abu Dhabi, where apparently it's nice and you can swim all year round. And I was like, geez, man, rub it in. We're freezing our
yeah.
tails off over here, and you're just living the dream over there. So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, hi,
so
Otto. Hi, Matt.
yeah, and I meant to say if anybody talk, comment section is all yours. So if you see anything you want to respond to,
Oh,
that's all you.
nice. Okay.
Um, did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yes. No one, I mean, we've got a couple of people in our friend group who like care a lot about it
Okay,
and they were definitely into it, but the majority of our friend group didn't really care. So we actually made our Super Bowl party theme that everyone had to wear a jersey of a team other than who was playing.
nice. Okay,
So it
yep.
could be a different team or a different sport. I wore
Okay, cool.
a Brazilian football
Oh,
jersey,
nice.
so
Okay,
like,
yeah, yeah,
just kind of to solidify how little we cared about
sure.
what was actually happening. But we love
Yep.
hosting. Me and my husband, like, we're really social hosting kind of people. So, we're always the house that hosts, and we love it that
So,
way.
in other words, if I'm ever planning to head out your way, I know where I can find a party.
Come stop by, yeah.
Fair
We've always
enough.
got stuff going on. Movie nights, game nights, always something.
Oh, I love now when you say game nights, are you talking like classic board game nights or like what kind of games would you guys be doing?
We do a lot of classic board games. I play D&D. My husband
Okay.
doesn't, so sometimes it'll be D&D nights for me, and he'll be watching The Bachelor or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
Um, yeah, a little bit of everything. I mean, often it'll be like some video games, Mario Party or Mario
Okay.
Kart or Just Dance or something.
Yep.
But
Oh, I tell you, Mario Kart is just like if you put Mario Kart on at a party, you can guarantee at least a few hours of just endless entertainment. So
uh-huh.
yeah, we just introduced our son to that, and yeah, he has a blast with the Mario Party stuff. So
I'm
all right, I'll keep you in
very
mind.
interested to see the Mario Kart sets that are going to be coming out too,
Yes.
because I did hear about those, and I'm like very curious. Because I'll be honest, I love that you might see behind me. I love the Mario, like the big
Oh
display
yeah.
Mario sets.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of the Mario play
I agree.
sets, so with the little figures. So I'm interested to see where the cart sets fall in with all that.
I personally would love to see a Rainbow Road, and I would love to see it like the I don't know if it's Hot Wheels or whatever the car brand is. Have you seen the toy of
Yeah,
Rainbow
the
Road?
little RC versions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I would love to see a track and have the scoreboard down and actually be able to race Lego cars like Mario Kart. I think that would be really cool.
that would be
Um,
really cool.
the I was to say the other thing you mentioned about the play sets. So you mean to tell me you don't like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to little Mario like going woohoo or something?
I've never had that happen, thank goodness. Mine, I bought the starter set just to try it out, and uh, I don't know where I ended up putting it. Honestly, it's
That's
somewhere
probably
in
for the
here,
better.
but yeah, I don't know where it is, but it's not in the room anywhere near where I sleep,
Well,
so that's good.
that's good because I will tell you, I experienced that once in my life, and that was the end.
That
There
I
was
mean,
no more Mario
that's
playsets.
that's like Furbies. That's what that reminds me of. Those friggin' Furbies that you could not
Oh
kill them.
gosh, those were awful. That it's funny how toys have evolved. How you remember the Nano Pets or the
Yeah.
Gigapets, the Tamagotchis, where you
Yep.
had to take care of them or they would die, and then you evolved to Furbies, which you couldn't kill them; they just kept coming back.
Yeah. Well, and those are coming back too. Like toys
Yeah.
are cyclical. Like all
Yep.
those things are making a comeback.
Can you imagine a Lego Furby?
Yeah, and Now I'm a little bit mad that I haven't mocked that because that's a
See,
really good
see,
idea.
you know what? I am so good at giving people ideas. So there you go. Don't forget about me when it becomes a set. Just
Well,
toss my name out
I
there.
mean, well, I guess the latest 90s ideas challenge was specifically 90s movies and TV shows. So I guess it
Yeah,
couldn't have worked
yeah,
for
yep,
that, but
yeah. Actually, you
hmm,
know what? Now that you mention that, I feel like I know I've seen Gremlins on ideas, but
yeah.
I don't think I've seen a Furby. But that would be really interesting to see a Furby.
Yeah. I
So,
Gremlins actually got picked
oh, that's right. It
for
did.
the
Yeah. Yep.
80s challenge.
Right.
Yeah, Goonies and Gremlins.
That's right. Forgot about that. Yeah, that's coming out this year, I think. Right?
I guess
I,
you never really know with
well, that's
ideas.
true. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I thought they had in the announcement. I thought they mentioned, but maybe I don't know. Anyway,
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
Twilight. I feel like just came out this last month, and I feel like people were asking me about that one for like a year and a half. So
That
I can't even keep
that
track.
one kind of surprised me. It kind of like came out of nowhere. I knew it was happening, but there
Yeah.
was like we were what mid January, and then all of a sudden it was just like bam, here it is. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that was coming.
Yeah, I've honestly, so I know that the Lego Group has been trying to crack down on leaks
Yeah, which is good.
lately, like because it became a really big problem. Like nothing came out that wasn't leaked 3 months in
Yeah,
advance, you
yep,
know? And so they've been really trying to crack down. They're having all of the ambassadors sign NDAs,
okay,
which honestly I was surprised we hadn't already. I was kind of
yep,
surprised by that.
yep,
So I know they're doing a lot of work to try to crack down on that. But yeah, when we so little insight for anyone if you might be wondering, when ambassadors get sets to review, the way that it works is we're offered sets through an email first. And the email will come and it'll say, hey, we'd like to offer you this set. So we don't really get to pick. We send them, when we
okay,
first become an ambassador, you give them a list of like, here's what I'm interested in.
sure,
And then they just kind of choose based on how many sets they have available, how many ambassadors might value it. Like, I don't value Star Wars super high, so
okay,
it's not high on my list.
yeah,
So I'm never going to get it because there's a lot of ambassadors who's number one on their
yeah, yeah,
list.
yeah, yep,
Anyway, so they send you an offer email and they say, "Hey, we're going to send you set number blah blah blah. This is the embargo date, this is the release date." But it doesn't actually say what the set is. And
oh,
so
interesting,
it will say like Lego Ideas set number blah
okay,
blah blah or Lego Disney set number blah blah. Blah.
okay,
So you kind of have an idea. And so usually I've been able to like go online and like okay, before I accept or deny this offer, accept or reject, I'll like Google what it's going to be, and usually I can at least get some kind of an idea of what it
sure,
is,
yep,
or like some leaked pictures or some rumors of what it might be. But there were a couple this year that had nothing
interesting,
that I was like so surprised about, and
yeah,
Twilight was one that I was
okay.
like, people have been talking about this for so long. How is there? And so I knew it was going to be the Twilight set, but I had no idea what it was going to look like.
So you're
And then the other
basically just
one,
as surprised as the general public then.
yes,
Okay.
genuinely. Like I had no idea.
Interesting.
And the other one that was a full blown surprise was Van Gogh's
Yep.
Sunflowers.
Okay.
Because that one I couldn't even find that that's what it was going to be. All I
Yeah.
could find online was that it was an art set, it had this many pieces, and it was going to cost this
Okay.
much. And that was the only thing the rumor mill had been able to get a hold of. So when I opened that box, I was like, it was genuinely like this first
Yeah.
time reveal. It
Yep.
was, and that doesn't happen very often. So I'm glad Lego's like cracking down on those more.
Yeah, well, and I agree because like I know I think it was Jean who she was like there was one set she saw last year at the land days out in Denmark, and she was like there was one set that she was so excited for, and then it came out like earlier than I guess that she expected wasn't expecting it as early.
Hmm.
um but yeah, I mean as nice as it would be to like pick and choose like exact sets, me, I'm kind of the type where I still want to be surprised. Like I still want to kind of like I don't know that I think that makes it more of a fun and a genuine review of things when you're not like planning like oh I'm gonna say this I'm gonna say that. It's more of like a just like straight from the heart kind of thing. And I know you still have to plan and whatnot for the
Sure.
reviews, but it gives you maybe a little bit more source material to go off of when you weren't expecting it.
Yeah,
So
it definitely like I was able to genuinely talk about like how beautiful I thought the set was because my first reaction to it was seeing the box and was
yeah,
like, oh my
yep,
goodness, this is a
yep.
gorgeous set. Oh, I've got
All right.
a question here. What's the best set to make as a couple for both in real life and over video call? I don't know. Anytime anyone asks me about sets, like that's so subjective and personal to like your interests and your budget and everything. But there are sets that are literally designed for it. They're called Build Together, and on the corner of the box, Ah, yes,
I
like
did
this
not
one.
know this.
Oh, the love one actually. The love one is a really nice one to build as a couple because there's two distinct sections. On the corner of the box, there will be a little logo
Uh,
that says how many
Holy
people can
cow!
build it.
How have I skipped that?
And it'll say, so the 1 to 2 means that there are literally two different sections with different instruction
Interesting. Why did I
books,
miss that? Okay.
and that they can come together at the end. Like, so I think the Milky Way one, that
Yeah.
one was like 1 to 5,
Okay.
say like five
Yep.
different
Yep. Yep.
sections.
Okay.
So if you're looking for something to build like with friends or family or whoever, look for that logo on the bottom because those are the best ones to build together. Because sometimes if you try to build one together, you're like getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
But those ones have different books,
Yep.
different sections, and then they come together at
Okay.
the end.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that because now I can pass on info because I did not. I don't
Me neither. Me neither until
know.
yeah
See, this is why
they
I
said
like you so much because you do what you're supposed to do. You're teaching and engaging the community.
honestly, I feel like half the time it's me learning stuff, and
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
just am so excited that I learned something that I
Yeah.
want to tell
Sure.
other people about it. Um, because I all the time I have people in my lives that are like, "Did you see this rumor? Or did you hear this thing is coming out? Or did you know this about this?" I'm like, "No, that's awesome."
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely not like a Lego encyclopedia by
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
stretch.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, see, then, and that's nice too. So you still get the enjoyment of being in the position you're in, but also still getting to enjoy it from the fan side of things too.
100%.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so obviously you are into Lego. We're gonna get into that. Let's talk about you yourself first, and then we'll get into the Lego chat. So,
Okay. Let's do it.
uh, I know you already mentioned, or I mentioned you're in Salt Lake City currently. You mentioned you grew up in Las Vegas. So you were born and raised in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Till I
Now,
was
how long did?
18.
Oh, I say. So you were there till 18. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what caused you, or what was the reason you left and went on to other places?
For school.
Okay.
So I came to school up here in Utah, and then just didn't really have a good enough reason to leave. I have a lot of extended family up here, so I just kind
Okay.
of ended up
Yeah.
staying.
Okay. Now, is your family still in Las
Uh,
Vegas, or have they
a
moved
bit
too?
split. My parents and one of my siblings' families are still in
Okay.
Vegas, and then three of my other siblings are up here in Utah now.
So you have four siblings.
I have four
Wow.
sisters actually. I'm the only
Oh,
boy with four
wow.
sisters. Yep.
Okay. Where are you in the line
Smack
of?
dab in the middle.
Wow. Look at you.
I'm
You're
surrounded on all
you
sides.
are the. I'm sorry to say this, but you're the thorn between the roses.
Yeah. And I will fully admit, classic middle
Yeah.
child.
Okay.
Classic middle
Yeah.
child. Hmm.
Oh, so growing up with what's like the largest age gap, or I so from you and the oldest and you and the youngest, what's the age gap?
Most of us are like 2 or 3 years apart, and then
Okay.
the youngest is 5 years
Okay.
apart.
So that's still a nice
Yeah.
age range. So growing up, did you get along? Did you play well, or
I mean,
up for
as
debate?
well as siblings can, like there's always fighting when you're, that close in age in high school and stuff, and then, you kind of grow closer together in college. Yeah, for the most part, we got along pretty well, everyone. I think like you fight the most with the siblings you're closest in age to, and
Yeah.
then the ones that are farthest apart, you kind of have the separation that you can be a little bit better friends with. I like my youngest sister. She was always she kind of took over the Lego stuff for me when I got to be like
Okay.
17. I kind of like stopped with Lego for a
Okay.
bit. And she kind of like took my whole collection and took it over, and I have some beef with that because
Yeah.
she ruined some stuff. She drew on things with markers and with
Oh.
Sharpie, and she took some minifigures that she wanted their outfit to be different. So she took a white minifigure torso, several of them, and covered their print with white out so she could write something else or draw
White out.
something else. And yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Um,
Oh gosh, I hope you didn't have any expensive minifigures that got white out.
no, I mean, I don't think I ever really had any expensive minifigures to begin with, but yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was hoping you weren't going to tell me you had some Cloud City Boba Fett or Mr. Gold
No.
that decided to be white out. So
No, I went through and I looked through all of my old stuff, and I've got like a bunch of the old Harry Potters and a bunch of the old Star Wars ones, but nothing is valuable because they were
yeah,
super
yeah,
common.
yeah. Isn't that funny how like to the most common of us, like we don't have these stories. We just had the common stuff, and then you have these random people that are like, oh yeah, my dad bought a 5 pack and they were all Mr. Golds. I was like, come on, man, like how does that
Yeah.
happen? You know. So, So let's ignore pretend Lego doesn't exist right now.
Okay.
What would you say growing up? What would you say your hobbies were as a child?
My parents really encouraged us to like try a lot of new things. So I, at least for a year or two, I played probably every sport that exists.
Yeah. Yep.
So I did a little bit of everything. None of them really stuck. I'd say of any of them, volleyball was probably the sport that I enjoyed the
Okay.
most.
Sure.
But I also did a lot of like swim team and rock climbing and
Okay.
stuff.
Yep.
The thing that really became my thing was theater and speech and debate.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I did a lot of theater in like middle school and a little bit in high school, and then community theater stuff around that age. And then I was on my high school's speech and debate team, and I like won
Oh,
state and
wow.
went to nationals like several years with that. So that was
Wow.
definitely
Congrats.
my main
Yeah.
thing.
Geez, I bet you're a handful now then, right?
I mean, a lot of people have told me I should be a lawyer, and I say no, that would suck the life out of me. But I do have that like debate instinct.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you never know when you need those skills. So
No, it comes in handy. And the speech and debate, I didn't do the debate side as much as I did the speech side.
okay.
So I definitely got very comfortable between that and theater with speaking and being in front of public or audiences or cameras. And
Yep.
I think that really helped with, where things ended up with me on, doing live streams and that sort
Sure.
of stuff. It made it a lot more
Uh,
comfortable.
Interesting question. Stemming from that, do you, even though you said you did all that, do you still find like you have a different feeling, like an inside feeling, like when you're talking on a live, compared to when you're doing something in front of people, or do you feel like it feels the same to you?
It kind of feels pretty similar. I'd say the difference is that, if you're in a theater performance, there's no call and response, like no one's sending
Yeah.
in chats for you to
Yeah. Yeah.
respond
Yeah.
to.
Yep. Yep.
So it feels pretty similar just in the sense that like when I'm performing on stage, you kind of like, at least for me, I kind of like dissociate the audience. Like I know they're there,
Sure.
but I just think of them as this kind of like amorphous thing
Yep.
that's
Yep.
observing. And
Yep.
so it kind
Okay.
of feels similar to like the
Yep.
camera. It's like I know, great, the my chat indicator says that there are 500 people watching this live, but like I don't know what that actually like means in my
Yeah.
brain. It's
Exactly.
just
Yeah. Yep.
there.
Yeah, because and the thing with that too is just because they're there doesn't mean they're there. Like they're not necessarily like they could. I've had people tell me that they treat these like a podcast. So they're driving somewhere, they toss it on. So people are walking, they're listening, but they're not actually staring at you. And that I think I don't know. I'm more of like a talker in like one on one or in person rather than like when I do lives by myself. Like I get that I'm like I feel like an idiot. I'm just talking to myself basically.
That definitely does happen. That becomes a little bit of a problem. I'd say as long as the chat is active and I have someone to like talk and respond to, I'm fine. If it's a day when like the chat is dead for whatever reason and I'm just sitting there on the live stream by myself building my Lego and genuinely like the silence really bothers me because I
Yep.
feel like no one's going to want to watch silence.
Yep.
So like I feel like I have to talk, I have to say something, and so I'm just talking to literally talking to myself. Like, oh, what an interesting building technique. And I'm like, this is like, what am I doing?
Man, how can I shadow watch one of your lives on a dead day so I can see you talk to yourself?
Honestly, I don't know who's watching because the platform that I use, it's great for sending out the stream to all the different places, but it doesn't bring back all of the numbers and all of the
That's
chats. So like I
right.
have to have all these different places set up to like monitor chats. So someone could absolutely be lurking and I would have no idea.
Yes.
And
See,
yeah,
I'm here thinking you're just doing a lot. So is it StreamYard? Is that what you use,
I use an
or do you use something else?
website called Restream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. I forgot you do the YouTube and all that too. So that's a whole different realm I haven't ventured into. So yeah, yeah, I get it completely. I love engaging with people. So on those days where it is a little quieter, then it's like, can I toss some music on? And you're like, then you got to worry about the copyright stuff, and it's just like, you know what, forget it. I'll
Yes.
just talk to myself. So
I used to play like legit music and we would just sing along and have, sing to some bops, have a good time. And now I'm like listening to this like AI,
yeah,
uh, 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 no copyright,
yep,
royalty free music. And
yep,
it's like
exactly,
elevator music. I'm like, what is happening?
exactly. All right, so growing up now, so a couple years down the road now, have your other than Lego, have your interests or hobbies changed, or is it pretty much still along the same path?
I kind of took a break from theater for a while also when I got to college and did stuff. There just wasn't a lot of opportunities for me at that point, and I was,
Okay.
busy with school and
Yep.
friends and being a college kid and stuff. And then I got back into it actually very close to around the same time I got back into Lego in 2017.
Okay.
I want to say 20, yeah, end of 2017 I got back into it. And so I've been doing a bunch of theater performances for the last 8 years.
Oh, nice.
um I just sent in some auditions
Okay.
yesterday, so I'm waiting for to hear about those. So yeah, that's still a big part
Oh,
of
well,
my
fingers
hobbies
crossed
and
for
my
you.
interests. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Good. Well, keep me posted if you get something so I can follow along the that path that you're doing there
Will
too. So,
do.
all right. So, last thing before we get into some Lego chat. So, I mentioned when I introduced you that you are a mental health therapist,
Hmm.
which absolutely awesome. Definitely something we need. We've always needed, but it seems now more so than ever. Can you just kind of give and you don't have to go into too much details if you don't want. Just basically what you do and like what types of clients you work, not specifically, but like what
Sure.
ages do you tend to work with?
Yeah. So I've always been interested in like psychology and the brain and personality
Sure.
types and like all those things, doing all those quizzes and stuff was always fun to me. And so I actually got into my career pretty late. I was 27
Okay.
when I went back to get my master's
Okay.
degree. So I graduated for several years and just doing different jobs. And I graduated in English with a minor in computer science. And so I was like nowhere near the therapy psychology realm.
Sure.
But it just kind of clicked one day after, I'd worked with my own therapist for a lot of years and I really enjoyed it. And I just kind of realized I liked doing this and I was interested. Um, so yeah, I got my master's in social work through University of Southern California, um, and then it takes another couple of years to get licensed and
Yep.
stuff. So I've now been graduated for about 5 years
Okay.
and started my own private practice as soon as
Oh,
I got
nice.
my license because I just didn't want to deal with other people.
Yeah. Yep. I get it.
Um,
Get it.
and so yeah, my main area of focus is working with the LGBTQ plus population
Okay.
here in Utah. As most people are aware, Utah is a very conservative
Sure.
state and a very religious state.
Yep.
And so growing up as a Mormon, in that same religious sphere, I know how hard it is to be a queer person in that community and how many challenges that comes with. And so I just decided to take my personal experiences and help the people who I identified with in that way.
Sure.
So that's the majority of my clients right now. That's kind of what I specialize in
Okay.
is like how sexuality and spirituality, where those cross over, helping
Hmm.
people figure out, where they want to be with any of them or either of them. Because I had found a lot of the people that when I was looking for a therapist, a lot of the people who understood my religious background were just pushing me into the religious direction, and a lot of
Okay.
people who
Yeah.
understood the queer background were pushing me to completely abandon my religious experiences. And so
Okay.
I wanted to be able to provide what I had a hard time finding, which is
Sure.
just someone who can understand both and help them just discover what's going to work for them.
So I mean, you're basically what people look for then, because it's so often, more often than not, you just what you said, you always find somebody that's good at one thing, somebody that's good at the other thing, and you can never find a combination. So kudos to you for that, because there's a lot of people that are in need of help in many ends of many spectrums, and it's good that unfortunately you can only dedicate yourself to one area of the country. Need more people like you. So so
Great.
let's get that cloning process going here and clone the the people that are able to help, because it's definitely something that's needed nowadays. So
Mhm.
I'm glad to hear that you're able to help in multiple capacities. So it's good to have somebody like you for sure.
Yeah,
So
thanks. It's been great so far. I'm really loving my
yeah.
job. It's very fulfilling, which is
And yeah,
hard
I
to
mean
find sometimes.
and that helps too. Like in any career, if you are happy with what you're doing and you understand what you're doing, you see the benefit it has to the end user because they can relate, and
Yeah.
I think that's very pertinent. So All right. So with that, let's chat some Lego here. Because I think you're interested in Lego,
I'm
right?
here for it. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I think you have just a couple sets behind you there. So,
a couple.
all right. Now I mentioned for everybody that's seen these before, I do chat, a little bit prior just to get a little bit of knowledge, not much, but you and I did talk a little bit yesterday, and I asked you if you had a certain couple things with you. You have that stuff readily available? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So first thing I have is Lego as a kid. What
Yeah.
did you have? I know you said you had a couple things from childhood, so what do you have?
So I got these out. I got them ready. So here's a few of my Harry Potter and Star Wars minifigs from back in the day. Let's see, where's there we go. So
Oh, look at those.
here's some of these early 2000s, back when they just used the giant the wands on
Yeah.
these things were so funny to me. And the star printed capes,
Oh,
which was
look at
never in the
that.
movies,
I've
but
never seen that.
it was a detail in the books that they put into the figures, but it was never in the
Interesting.
movies.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that. Man, that's two things you've taught me here tonight. So,
Yeah, so I got some of those pulled out of the
okay,
bin, and
nice.
I don't. Some of these I think might have some parts swapped or something. Like I'm
Sure.
not
Yeah.
sure exactly how accurate they all
Yep.
are, but we got Dooku and Obi-Wan and all the Harry Potters. Yeah.
Nice. So now, as a kid, um, would you say that you had more just sets as a kid, or do you remember? Did you have bulk like just loose Lego laying around?
I definitely had a bin of just loose Lego for sure. The sets that I had, obviously a lot of those ones, a lot of the Harry Potters and stuff. The very first set that I remember having was a like undersea explorer set. It was like
Okay.
a submarine, and I like looked it up the other day just to like find out what it was, and I could actually buy it for like $50
Oh
still. It's
wow.
like not one
Okay.
that's like increased in value. So I
Yeah.
did think about grabbing that one. Because yeah, it was like one from the 90s.
A good, a good set of years, the 90s.
Yeah, it was last century.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy when you think about that? Yeah. All right. So then, with your bulk Lego that you would have had, do you ever remember building anything in particular? Like, did you ever try to build cities or anything like that, or just kind of like what your mind went
Yeah,
to?
I would try to do a lot of towns and cities. Which is probably why I love the modular building series these
Yep.
days. Because it's everything I wanted as a kid but couldn't have.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, what else did I build with my bulk? We've got some photos of some stuff I did as a kid. But yeah, it's I think it was mostly towns and cities and
Okay.
houses and buildings and stuff.
You
Yeah.
know, thanks for reminding me with what you just said. I had somebody that brought up to me about a month or so ago that anybody that I have on here, if they have any photos of themselves as a kid with Lego, if they're not against sharing those, to share them with me, and I'm going to put a post together
Okay.
with the kids over the years. So if you have something, I'll mention that to you now. If you have anything, you don't have to. You don't have. That's fine.
I know
I'm
I've
not
got some
against
in
it. But
scrapbooks, but I
okay.
think they're in physical form back in Vegas,
Yeah. Okay.
at my parents' house. I don't know if I have any digitally to
Okay.
send.
Well, if you ever come across, or if you're ever there and you take a picture of it, let me know because I'll try to figure out something. I just think it would be really neat for people to see, like, the beginning and where people have come from. I think it'd be really cool to see kids like how they used to be in their creative,
Yeah,
where we actually built non-sets, and we were, just imaginations and building off of that. So I think it'd be really
yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Um, all right. So then. Okay, so you had the bulk. Now, when you had your dark ages, what age would you say was your last? What was the last year before you went into that dark age period?
Probably like 16. Um, and I do know for sure, and we have pictures of this too, that my when my little sister kind of took over the reins, every Christmas she would get a Lego set and I would help her build it
Okay.
on Christmas morning.
Yep.
So like I was still kind of in it, like I was helping her build stuff, but I wasn't getting anything for myself. And that continued like 16 to like early 20s when I was in college and
Okay.
stuff. And then when I was like really in college and then my sister kind of aged out also, that's when I really didn't do anything for probably 5 or 6
Okay.
years. And got back into it, I would say in like 2018 or 19.
Okay. Man, that That term aged out, man, that's a depressing term.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I would maybe I'll revise it not so much as age out of Lego, but aging in
Yeah,
to caring too much about what other
yeah,
people think of you.
yeah. I and that is something I wish I could help the world accomplish, not to worry about, because
Yeah.
you
I
got to
mean,
do.
when you're a teenager, you just all of a sudden it's so important to you that you not be perceived as a kid or as childish or whatever, and that I think ruins a lot of people's Lego
Man,
experience.
you got my wheels spinning now. I never really thought about the teenage years. Like I have a couple of Lego clubs, but it's more so the elementary kids. And then I'm in a lug, so that's your adults. That those teenage kids are really I'm just gonna say ignored. And they're like the prime age of they don't want to be perceived as something that is not cool or whatnot. So I'm gonna get my wheels thinking on targeting that age range and what we can do for that. I might actually come back to you for that and see if we can think of something,
Yeah,
because that could be something that could be fulfilling for those kids.
yeah,
So um,
for sure.
all right, so I was just thinking. So you said you had your four sisters. Now I'm going back thinking of the Lego Movie. Do you ever remember any encounters of you building something or playing something out of Lego and your sisters coming in and just knocking through?
Nothing specific, but I am positive that it did
Yeah,
happen. Yeah.
fair enough. Definitely understandable. I don't think I think the Lego Movie more so focused on the was that was Friends, right? Friends and Duplo.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think that stuff was as prevalent. I don't even remember when Friends came out. That wasn't too
Yeah,
long ago.
yeah.
Um,
Wasn't my childhood for
no,
sure.
no. So then the Dark Ages came, and then what was do you remember what was the first set that you came back into Lego with?
First one that I remember, I'm pretty sure it was this one. It's one of two. The first one was the Las Vegas architecture
Mm,
skyline.
that's right.
I
Okay.
remember being in Target and walking past the Lego aisle, and at that point in time, I didn't compulsively check it the way I do
Yeah.
now. Um, but I just walked past the Lego aisle, and it was on the end cap. And if it hadn't been on that end cap, I wouldn't have noticed it. And it was the Vegas skyline architecture, and I saw it and I was like, oh, "That's so cool! I love that! I miss Lego. I want to get back into it."
Yep.
And that set like kind of drew me back in, so I immediately put it in the cart.
Okay.
And then that I think it was my birthday that year. I asked for, and I because I had seen the giant Hogwarts castle for a couple of years, and I thought it was
Oh
so
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
And but I was like, but I'm not into Lego anymore. I'm not going to do that. And then so finally for my birthday that year, I asked for some money so that I could buy that set,
Okay.
and so that was the first like big one back, and
Yep.
that just like completely sold me, got back into it.
That started the rabbit hole.
Yep, yep,
I get it.
100%.
I get it. All right. So
Oh, we got a
what would?
question here real quick in the
Oh yeah. Go
chat.
ahead.
Being an ambassador, is there anything that says to his face? Oh, no. So there's actually several ambassadors who never show their face. I do, like every ambassador does it differently. I do live streams. Not every ambassador does live streams. Some people just record videos and upload it. Some people just take photos of the sets and write their review and post
Yep.
those. Some of them, like Tips and Bricks, I think,
Okay.
is like a completely anonymous. They do really, really in-depth reviews that are very well done, but they don't show their faces at all. So no,
Okay.
ambassadors can be any type, mega bricks. So if you're not someone who wants to have your face online or talk about it, that's totally allowed. Yeah.
Good to know. Okay. All right. So obviously, I'm assuming by what you have behind you, I would assume you're interested in the Lego Ideas line of builds.
I love ideas. Ideas, icons. Actually, icons might be top for me.
Okay.
And a lot of the ideas kind of are icons. Like they kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
meld together,
They're iconic.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, sometimes it's hard to remember which one is which. But yeah, ideas and icons and modulars are, I would say, the three that I go for the most.
Now I know. So we had a chat about the modulars,
Yeah.
and you're down to missing two. Now remind me, which are the two you're missing?
Yes. Well, I guess technically I'm missing three because I haven't built this one yet, but this one just arrived in the mail today.
Oh,
This is
what's
the
this one?
Fire Brigade.
Ah, nice. Okay.
So this is the next on my build. Other than that, I'm missing the greengrocer and the Market Street.
That's right.
I did. I built a fake
Oh,
greengrocer.
oh yeah. Okay.
Um,
Oh wow, that's impressive.
well, there's not. It's
Oh,
just a facade.
that's
That's why
fantastic.
it's very, very fake. So I did follow the instructions and I got pretty close just with the bricks in my collection.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not perfect by any means. It's, there's some fake stuff in there, but yeah, it is just a facade, but I just wanted to have it on the street. So I need to get the real greengrocer and I need to get Market Street
Okay.
and then I'll be set.
So I'm just going to toss this out there because this is something that seems to be a common theme that I talk about with a couple friends on here. And what you just showed me is something that I think possibly could be a good way for Lego to go is making facades for cities. Now, I know the French Cafe, I mean, that's pretty much a facade in smaller scale. But I think having large facades for city builders would be an incredible make because like all city, I mean not all cities but most of the cities are the buildings, so it
Hmm.
would be really nice like to have like where you know how people make the elevated platform, just have a row of facades to kind of give it like that dimensional look.
That could be
I don't
cool.
know, I think it would be cool to have.
I think for me, the interiors are as much, if not more important for my
Mhm.
building experience than the exteriors.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think the facades could be really cool for a few cases. Um, yeah, I think the other tricky part is that the facades only work in very specific cases. So like
Oh
I had to
yeah.
put that greengrocer at the back between two tall
Yep.
buildings. So like you run into some logistical problems, but I think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
I
mean,
think that it could
I
definitely have some cool uses.
yeah, I'm with you on the interiors. Like when we started, that was the first way we went was does it have a nice interior? And then with modular,
Yeah,
once you get some, you have to get them all.
yeah.
So,
Well, and I
but
think
yeah, I mean, then
that's why the police station is still my favorite modular because I feel like the interior details and the storytelling on the inside
yeah,
of that building were just so next level.
yep,
Like the spoon, the moment with the spoon, I will never forget realizing what they were doing and just being like, that is so brilliant. So
yep,
yeah,
yep,
those are the moments that just I love so much.
yep. No, I agree. You want to answer that?
TJ, are you building a very large extension of the Hogwarts castle? Yes, I was. Here's as far as I've
Oh
gotten.
wow, what's
Um,
that?
so yeah, it's going to be a 19,000 piece expansion. So
Wow,
it's
holy
the
cow!
same scale and size, and it adds on to the Hogwarts
Oh,
castle.
nice.
And these boxes here are all of the pieces that I've ordered to do those with, but it's a lot of work.
So the person who asked that, his name's Frank. He's our resident Harry Potter guy. So
Oh,
um,
nice.
yeah, he's a great guy. He just had something the other day. He had a story where he hit a Disney piece in a Harry Potter build, and you had to search and find it. And
Um,
I mean, it's brilliant stuff. Um, so going into talking about, I think you said you mostly are in the sets, but as you just showed, you like to build some things as well.
yeah.
Now, you explained to me the other day that most of your mock building, and obviously the Harry Potter thing, that's your own. I mean, there's an idea to base off of it.
That was
Um,
actually instructions. That's someone else's
oh,
mock,
okay,
so I can't
okay,
take credit for that one.
okay. So you had so exactly to what you said. You prefer when you mock build to kind of take a set and improve it essentially,
Yeah,
or make it
yeah,
more
yeah,
yours.
yeah. I take sets that I think are like 90% there and just need a little tweaking, or sometimes maybe they need a little more than that. My first one that really blew up with that was the up house that I
Oh yeah,
did.
yeah,
So
okay,
this is my version of the up house. It's like 30% larger.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, it looks
It
nice.
might be hard to tell what the difference is from the original because mine actually looks like what the movie looks
Yeah,
like. And then
yep,
when you see this compared to the one that they sold, you're like, oh, yeah, that one's way smaller.
yeah. I'm trying to see where I don't know where mine is. I don't know where it went. It's somewhere. I was trying to compare, but is that Kevin up on the
And I
roof?
did. a custom Kevin,
That
yes.
is fantastic. See, that was missing. That should have
Yeah.
been a part of the set. So yeah,
Kevin was
I like that a
absolutely
lot.
missing. And that's actually, it still looks like not enough balloons, but that's actually double the number of balloons from the original set because I
Okay.
bought two of the set
Yep.
to be able to expand it. So
Now,
that was the first one I did that really blew up.
have you ever thought of either doing the clear pieces to make it look like it's floating or actually hanging it with fishing
I
wire?
have, and that might be coming down the
Oh,
line.
okay.
But I need to finish my city layout first. It's still a little bit of a work in
Yeah,
progress.
yeah. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's a problem.
Another really quick and easy one that I did was with the Magic of Disney. I added a smile on
Okay.
Mickey's
Yep.
face. He wasn't originally
Yep.
smiling, and I felt
Yep.
like his face looked a little weird, so I just customized that real quick.
You mean you didn't like
This
that
one,
face staring into your soul?
yeah, yeah. So giving him a smile made it a little bit less off-putting. Um,
Oh, that's funny.
And then this Iron Man mask was actually one of the hardest ones. The original Iron Man mask that they released was modeled to look like the minifigure mask, so it
Yep.
was
Okay.
like much chunkier.
Yep.
It was like much fatter on
That
the bottom, and so I wanted
looks
it to look
nice.
more like the movie version.
Yep. That looks really nice.
So that was my solution. Oh, and then I guess I did do a couple of custom mocks. I got the pirate and I added some pirate accessories with him.
Did you, by any chance, I'm looking for a sword. Do you have instructions for that sword by any chance?
I don't, but it's super simple. It's yeah, I
Oh
could
yeah,
send
looks
you some
pretty okay.
screenshots or something.
Yeah, if you don't mind, yeah, because I'm actually my buddy and I are in the midst of making a mock, and we need a sword for the pirate minifigure too. So, and I like that treasure chest too. Did you use instructions for that, or did you build that?
That was mine. Yep, I just wanted it to look like a Lego one, so I pulled the Lego one out and just tried to scale it up as best I could.
Hey, look at you being modest, saying you don't do your own creation, then you just whip out a treasure chest.
I can do a couple
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I do a few things. I'm not at like anywhere near like Lego Master level, but I can do some things.
Now, speaking of Lego Masters, I didn't even mention this. So I think you said, wasn't Lego Masters one of the other things that really brought you back into Lego?
Yeah, yeah. Watching the show, just I was like, no way, they have a competition for that, and then watching it and seeing all of the amazing creations, definitely was part of it. And then there was a brief time where I was like, oh, I want to be on this show, and my husband and I actually were in the selection process. We got to the final round of the selection
Oh,
process
seriously?
for one of the seasons,
Oh, wow.
but like I said, I don't think I'm actually good enough. So I'm a little bit glad I didn't get picked because I feel like I would have just gotten on there and been immediately eliminated first thing and just been so embarrassed. But yeah, it was a great show and it definitely helped bring me back for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so I actually had somebody on not too long ago, Nick. He was in the Australian Lego Masters,
Okay.
and he was telling me how it's so crazy that the best of the best on that Australian Lego Masters, like obviously it's a smaller field to pick from,
Mm,
and so like when you're comparing the Australian Lego Masters with the U.S. Lego Masters, like it's different because we're such a a bigger pool to choose from that
yeah,
he said like some of our winning builds might have even gotten eliminated early on in the like the early rounds of the US Lego Masters. So
it's
it's
very
just like
intense.
it's crazy. Yeah. I mean that's no knock on anybody. Please nobody mistake me for that. It's just there's just so much bigger of a pool that they
Yeah.
choose from. And so it makes it different. So
Yeah, and I
um
definitely do not have the experience with building mocks. Like I can do small stuff. I feel like I'm pretty good at small stuff. Like I was proud of Kevin. I'm proud of like some of the small things I've done, but building at that scale is just like you have to have so much time and
yep.
skill put into getting to that
Yep.
level.
No, I hear you. And parts. That's the parts
Uh-huh.
is always the rough part.
Yeah.
All right, so let's chat real quick here. I want to talk about your social media journey here.
Okay.
So, based off what I saw, you're pretty much on everything. You're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. I think there was one other icon. I don't know. I didn't know what it was.
I added Red Note during our little TikTok debacle
Okay.
and Lemonade. I added for like I basically was just like, you know what, anywhere that there's a thing, I'll try to be there.
Yeah, sure. I get it. Yeah, I was just saying, did that because you have a massive following on TikTok.
TikTok
Did that concern
I did
you?
well, yeah. TikTok just like got really lucky. Like when I started, my I never thought like Lego Ambassador. I didn't even know what it was, and
Yeah.
then when I found out what it was, I never thought that was like even a possibility. I genuinely started my TikTok account because I was just getting back into Lego, and I was like, it was actually because I got the Titanic, and I
Okay.
was like, I want to make a time lapse of building this to show my friends and family, and that was all it
Okay.
was. Um, and then I got the Eiffel Tower,
Yep.
and I posted a little video about how much bigger the Eiffel Tower was than I expected it to be and where was I going to put it. I hadn't even built the thing yet,
Sure.
but it was just me walking around with a measuring tape. Where is this thing going to fit in my home?
Yep.
And that video blew up, got like
Okay.
over 9 million
Oh wow.
views, and that's what got me to the point where I could do live streams. So then I thought, why not? I'll just build this whole thing on
Sure.
live stream, and then those recordings will be what I use for my time lapse.
Okay.
And it just kind of started very small, and I always just, the early days I was just literally with on my phone sitting in front of a blank white
Yep.
wall with a tape. Like it was nothing fancy at all. It's still nothing fancy. I still do most things off my phone with
Sure. Yep.
really low tech stuff. And so whenever people ask me like how do I grow my channel or whatever, like that's always my answer is just have fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if you're having fun with it, then no matter how many followers you do or don't have, or how many people do or don't watch your live stream, you're having fun anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And like people can tell, like people can tell so easily when you're making content trying to get big,
Sure.
or when you're making content like trying to push something versus when it's just genuinely what you love doing and it's a fun time.
I agree.
And people respond better to the authenticity. So yeah, I just started for fun and then it just kind of randomly blew up on TikTok. And then I was like, oh, wait, maybe this could actually be something. So then when I started looking into the application process for an ambassador, I had to wait a little while to hit my 1 year mark. And then, I decided, well, if I'm making videos for TikTok, it takes an extra 30 seconds to upload them to Instagram
Yep.
also, and then YouTube. So anyway, just kind of kept going like that. And now, Instagram and YouTube have been a little bit slower in growing, but again, I'm just like, you know what? Great. I have fewer YouTube followers than a lot of other people who aren't
Yeah.
ambassadors. And a lot of people see when I post videos, they're like, you only have 5,000 subscribers. How are you an ambassador? I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
honestly. I don't know. But I'm having fun with it. And
Yeah.
so that's what you do.
Yep. That's the most important thing. Yeah. I know. You can tell, like, you can see some content, and like I got frustrated originally with how like I mentioned to you the other day, how the it seems like the algorithm sometimes really pushes people down, and it's just frustrating that some people just can't grow for some reason because they don't get in that loop of algorithm, and it's just a shame. But I had this thing where I was getting really frustrated because when I started these, I was under 1,000 followers, and I didn't know that if you're under 1,000, it cuts your live off in an hour.
Oh,
And so I had my very first live, and I was going through it, and all of a sudden it shut down, and I was like, What happened here?" So,
that is
so then I
frustrating.
went on this big campaign trail. I was like, please, I just need to get over so I can, have these longer form conversations because I just love sharing people's stories. So um, so TikTok was your first platform then, and then you expanded. So do you do you keep all your content the same for all the platforms, or do you change anything up?
For the most part, it's the same. I tend to, I mean, making short form content is just easier, first
Yeah.
of all. It takes much less time, all that stuff. So anytime I make a short form, I'll post it everywhere. I'll post it as a TikTok and an Instagram reel and a YouTube short, and just like why not?
Okay.
If I make anything that's really long form, I tried like breaking it up into parts and posting the parts on TikTok or
Okay.
Instagram, or even like I'm now TikTok lets you post up to 10 minutes, I think. So like
Oh, interesting.
I
Okay.
would try even posting that, but it just like it never did well. It never performed well. So
Sure.
I now anything short form, anything that's like 3 minutes or under, I'll post everywhere. And if
Okay.
it's over 3 minutes, I'll only post it on YouTube. Is
That
pretty
makes
much what
sense.
I've gotten to now.
Okay.
So like
Yep.
I'm starting to do some like really longer form stuff. I just posted my how to be an ambassador video is like 22
Yep.
minutes long.
Yep.
So I just started realizing like there are some most of my things are just short, they're quippy, they're quick, they're here's my quick review. And I
Sure.
don't think people want to spend 10 minutes listening to me talk about one set.
Oh,
But if there is
you'd
a
be
subject
surprised.
that maybe, but if there is a subject that I feel like we can talk about for longer or deserves more time, then usually YouTube is where I do the longer stuff.
I gotcha. Now, do you enjoy doing the longer form or short form? I know you said it's easier, but what do you enjoy more?
Yeah, I enjoy them for different things. The editing process with long forms is really tough. It's like, for this 20-minute video, it was like 3 hours
Yeah,
of
yeah,
editing, not counting the hour of filming and the hour of prepping, and like, it's so much time goes into it. So that kind of makes it feel a little bit draining. But I do like being able to go way deeper in depth. If you can't tell from this live stream, I'm a talker. I like
that makes
to
two of
I like
us.
to explicate. And so being able to, like, the other video that I did that was like 19 minutes or something was about the price of Lego and whether it was worth the price and how the price has fluctuated in years. Is it more expensive than it used to be? And so being able to really like pull a subject apart and dive
Yep,
really in deep and go deep into it is more
yeah,
satisfying. So I'd say it's more satisfying, but it's just a lot more work. So the short ones
I
are
agree.
kind of fun to just be like, yeah, here's a quick thing.
Sure.
There you go.
Yep. Um,
And people tend to appreciate the quick things for the like get to the point. Like, okay,
yeah.
here's the information I need, done.
Yep. So just out of curiosity, because I know how I feel about this, when you do a live compared to like an actual something that you're going to record, let's just say it's a short form. So do you feel like any? So for example, when I do a live, I have zero pressure on me. Like I just talk and I'm fine.
Yeah.
But when I record a short form video, I record it and I record it and I record it. And I'm just like, why can't I be like this in my videos, like when I do a live? Do you have that same kind, or are you just like
Yes, for
comfortable and good?
sure.
Okay.
I think there's less. I mean, first of all, most live streams aren't recorded. Now that I do them on YouTube, YouTube does record them for later replay, so that's whatever. Usually they're not recorded, so you're not worried about like, oh, is this going to
Sure.
perform well? It's just like I'm just
Sure. Yeah.
doing it for fun. I'm
Yeah.
just like whoever's here, whatever, great. And then if people do watch it later, fine. But like I'm never like watching my metrics on like
Yeah.
a live stream to be like, oh, this live stream didn't get enough views because it's
Yeah. Sure.
not. That's not what it's for.
Yep.
But with the shorts, especially as an ambassador, where we do have to report our views for like the review sets that we get, we have to tell them
Okay.
how well it
Okay.
performed. That one does stress me out, and so I feel
Sure.
like there's a little bit more of just like a perfectionism kind of thing in there,
Yeah.
where like
Okay.
if I stumble over my words in a live stream, people know that it's live. They know that I'm a human. They know that I make mistakes. I called on the live stream. I called George Washington Carver James Washington Carver
Oh,
for a second, like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and like people don't really care because people know. But when it's a short and it's got to be like edited so quick and you have to like get to your point, you have to. There's like so many things that feel like you have to be a bit more performative rather than just hanging out.
Don't you hate when you have something like that and I mean you nailed that short and then you go back and watch it and it's like something like right at the end you just said something wrong and then that's it. Like you got to go back and record it and then and it's
Yeah,
just like, it's just like a domino effect.
yeah.
So for
Yeah, and sometimes I'll just put a little like screenshot or caption on there. The other thing I've noticed on shorts is actually me and my husband have both noticed this because he does a lot of Disney
oh, that's
content.
right. Yeah.
And he wants to be a Disney influencer and do all
Sure.
this stuff.
Yeah.
That we've both noticed whenever we have an idea for a short that we think is really clever or really funny or we're like this is going to perform so well, people are going to eat this up.
I know where you're going with this.
Nothing. No engagement, like lowest views,
Yep.
lowest likes. And
Yep.
then when I have something that I'm like, well, whatever, I'll just throw this up.
Yep.
Why not? Like just take 30 seconds and record it. That's what blows up.
Yep.
And it every time, and I don't understand it. Like literally, my last video that blew up was me walking out of the Lego store with bags, being like, I got stuff, let's go home and build it. And like that was the whole video. And it got like 500,000 views. But then I
Oh, that's
spent
funny.
like 3 hours putting together like a skit and like this funny
Yep.
thing, and I edit it, and it's so good, and then like nothing.
Yep. You know,
It's so dumb.
it's so funny you say because I haven't gotten lucky to have one of those viral videos yet. The best one I've had so far, I think it just surpassed 18,000.
Nice.
Of all my videos, it's the one video where I have a spelling error in it, and I'm just like, is this why it's getting shared? Because I put the same word twice, and I'm just like, come on, man, it
Honestly,
could,
there is something to be said for the what's it called? The troll baiting,
yeah,
like putting
yeah,
something intentionally in there for people to correct you.
that's
It's annoying, but it
ah,
works.
Okay, so
One of the guys that I follow, he does a lot of really good Lego videos. He does this funny audio that he uses and blah blah blah, and he intentionally puts something in the background because it's supposed to be like, oh, what happened to my car? And then he pans over and it's like the set is
okay,
wrong. He intentionally puts the right set in the
interesting.
background because there are hundreds of comments every time saying it's in the background, and like people just want to jump to correct it so quick, and he knows and he does it on purpose, and it works. It works every time.
Yeah.
Those videos always
Oh,
blow up
that's
because he gets the
funny.
engagement.
Man, okay. Tips for thought tonight.
Yeah, the
You're gonna
names you
see
have
some
to
new
play on
videos on my
social media.
page.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So, lastly, before we wrap up here, any plans on conventions this year? Are you going to attend anything?
Yes, I will definitely be at Brick Slopes here in Utah
Okay.
because the location where they have it is literally 10 minutes from my house. So I'll definitely be there.
Yep.
I would love to go to Brick World Chicago.
Okay.
It's in my calendar. I'm gonna try my best to make it to that one, but I think it'll probably just be those two.
Okay.
I was invited also to Brick Slopes, Colorado. Brick Slopes
Oh,
added
nice.
Colorado this
Yep.
year for the first time. I'm gonna try to see if I can swing that one, maybe make a little road trip out of it, but Chicago and Salt Lake are probably the two that I'm
Okay.
most likely to be at.
Well, let me know if you're good. I have my tickets booked for Chicago. It's my first Brick World, so
Okay, nice.
excited. My buddy and I, Mav Bricks, that we do the lives together. He and
Yeah,
I are going, so hoping to get to meet a lot of the people we've been interacting with. I know we have a decent amount of people that are in like our close circle that are going, so it's gonna be really nice to actually like be with people rather than just like talking behind a screen or even just through
yeah,
chat. So
yeah.
should be interesting. But lastly, I also want to mention. Again, I'm going to post this for recording, and I am 100% happy to put this on a recording. I want to tell you that I appreciate you in especially in not only as a person, but I appreciate you being an ambassador for the community and actually being an ambassador. You engage with the community, you bring information to the community, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I want you to know that I appreciate that. And I know there's a lot of other people that appreciate that because you're supposed to be the person that we interact with, with anything Lego. And so I think you do a really good job of that. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Thank
So,
you, thank you. That
yep.
that means a lot.
Yes, for sure. So, do you want to toss out your social medias just so everybody knows where to find you?
Yeah, it's at TJ.Bricky. I think everywhere except Twitch. Twitch doesn't have the dot. They don't allow periods in
Oh, okay.
Twitch
Fair enough.
handles. But yeah, I believe it's at TJ.Bricky everywhere. So.
Okay, cool. All right. Anything else you want to share, or did we
I mean, I
cover it
see a
all?
comment. If you're going to Chicago, get your tickets before May. Prices go up. So I will remember that. And anyone else watching, remember that if you're going to Brick
I
World
I would
Chicago.
say I think there are the passes for the longer stretch time. I think it said if you get them through the end of February, they are discounted.
Okay.
And then if there are some still available, I guess I don't know what the prices are after, but
Yeah. I'll have to look
food for
into
thought.
getting that
So,
right
yep.
away.
Awesome. Well, hey, I truly appreciate you taking the time to stop by tonight and join me. If you're interested, I'd love to check in with you down later on this year, see what you've been up to, and see what's
Sure.
been going on.
Yeah, let's
So,
do it.
and hope to see you in Chicago.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, guys, make sure you are following TJ on all of his platforms. He's a great person, a great ambassador for us in the Lego community. Thank everybody for stopping by tonight. Hope you learned a few things. I did. So if you missed the beginning, go back and watch because TJ taught us a few things. So, all right. Well,
Thanks,
hey, have a good
guys.
rest of
Thanks
the
for
night and have a
watching.
good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All
Bye.
right. See ya. Bye.